Evening. Evening. Nice to see you. Welcome. Hello, Heather. Nice to see you. Hope you're all right. How are you doing? Hello, Kezia. How are you today? Hope you're all right. Hello, Lynn. Oh, do you know, every time I have this problem, is just this stupid thing flying around. There we go. Pixie, hello. Holly, hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, I've had my hair done. Had it all cut off. So it's at the stage, you know, when you've been to the hairdressers and you actually can't wait to wash it yourself and do something because it's a bit, but I'm quite pleased with it, so that's good. Nadine, hello. Nice to see you. Hello, Jasmine. Jules, hello. So nice to see you. Elizabeth, how lovely to see you. I hope you're all right. Thank you, Heather. Thank you. Oh, God, dear. Oh, Vicky. Oh, it's so nice to see you. How are you doing? Oh, welcome, everyone. Oh, sorry. Guy? No, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm afraid because I don't know you, so I'm not going to go live with anyone. I'm afraid. I'm a bit selfish. I just do me. So my apologies, but thank you for asking. Oh, gosh. So welcome, everyone. It's really nice to see you. It's been one of those days today, but welcome. It's really nice to have you here. I'll just sort of let everyone arrive and settle in. It's so nice to see you all. Welcome. Oh, gosh. Let's see. Hello, Lisa. Nice to see you. Lisa Thomas Shaw. Carrie. Yeah, lovely to see you. I'm well. How are you doing? How's everyone's week been? What's been your best moment of the week? How's it gone? Gosh, lots of people arriving. It's very nice to see you. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Yeah, I just had my hair cut today, so I'm just getting used to it. Like some angles it looks really nice, and other angles I look like I've had it all amputated, but I'm quite pleased. Nadine, I am so proud of you. So no hurt, no self-harm for 7 days. Well done. Well done. That is a massive achievement, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm sure the whole team here and everyone on this community is proud of you too, because that's not easy. But well done. Well done. That's made my evening. So, gosh, that is so brilliant. I love it. I love hearing what people have managed to do, because I know that, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult. Life is difficult sometimes. This time of year is difficult, and so when you manage to come through that difficulty and you manage to have good times, you achieve things like you've just done, Nadine, it's just wonderful to hear. It really is. So look at all these messages. So Elizabeth is saying well done and she's proud of you. It's so nice. Excellent. Okay. Welcome, everyone. So for those of you who have not been here before, or perhaps have no idea who I am, which is probably most of you, let's face it. So my name's Sarah. My name's Sarah, and I'm a therapist. I work in the UK, but I see people from all over the world, really, online. I work mostly seeing people who are suffering from anxiety, but other things as well, like fears, depression, limiting beliefs, that sort of stuff. Sometimes when people just feel a bit stuck and they don't really know what's going on, I work with them. I have a limited, you know, I'm not a psychologist. My training is not as perhaps as sort of all encompassing as someone who would be working with some sort of situations, but I love what I do, which is working with people who have anxiety. So oh gosh. So yeah, so I'm a bit all over the place this evening. I've had a lovely day. I went to my friend runs a charity, and she had a coffee day today. And so I'm driving over there, went to see my mum, took her to the coffee thing. I've driven all the way back, and I've been doing all sorts of different things, and so my mind is a little bit all over the place. So forgive me, I have to settle myself down. So what we do in these lives is I'll try and answer any questions. If you have any questions about anxiety or about what's going on for you, if you want to talk about the good stuff that you've done, the achievements that you've had, your best moments of the week, the self-care that you've done, then I'd love to hear about that too. But I'm joined by some amazing people, the whole community, people who come week after week and who come to my page and support one another. It's really lovely to have you here. And I have a team of really wonderful moderators. So I have Lynn 250, Jasmine, and I have Vicky Hodson. And between them, the three of them, they keep this a really nice, safe place. So we don't want anyone who's going to be rude or unkind. So if anyone is like that, then we kind of give them short shrift, really. So thank you to them for being here. I really appreciate it. So let's have a look. Oh dear, all the messages all flew through. Let me see. So I'm going to see if I can grab 2 or 3 questions, and then I'll see if I can answer them for you. It's difficult to catch up on all of the comments because they come flying through so quickly, but I'll do my best. Okay, so please be patient. So let's have a little look. What have we got here? So Alex B, let's have a look at yours. So Alex B, I'm going to Disneyland tomorrow, and you're feeling nervous about crowds and feeling a bit sick. Okay, so to that, and then I will answer your question. Oh, how lovely. So, oh gosh, what was that? Is that Sienna? Does that say Sienna? Sienna. Sunday's my favourite day because I clear my head by horse riding. I love that. Do you know, I used to ride. I have not ridden for a very long time. I rode up until I was about 20 probably. I started when I was 8, so I had like 12 years. I used to love riding, and I often wonder to myself, I wonder if I'll ever do it again, because I'm a bit afraid now that I might fall off and do something awful, but I used to look forward to it so much. Oh, beautiful. So I'm envious of you that you do that. That's really lovely. And Ben, hello Ben B. Yes, I've had a lovely week, thank you. I hope you have too. Thank you for being here. Oh, and Roxy. Roxy says, your voice is so soothing. Thank you for providing a safe space. Do you know what? It's really my pleasure. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being so kind. It's lovely. So I've got one question at the moment I'm going to be answering. Let me just scroll through, see if I've got another one. Let's see. Oh, look, Alex B started therapy last week and I'm already feeling more calm. Excellent. See, therapy does work. That's so cool. Princess, oh, I'm glad you've come across me. That's so nice. Yeah, welcome. Really good to have you here. So, oh, my eyes are terrible. Let's see. Maze. So, Mace. Strange question. Do you have any tips for social anxiety? Not a strange question at all. That's a really good question because a lot of people suffer from social anxiety. So yeah, good question, and I will definitely I'll answer that. Just give me a moment, and I'm going to just write a few more down. Jasmine. So that's a good one, Jasmine. Any tips on pretending you're much more confident than you are? So, okay, confidence, pretending, possibly. Okay, so I've got 3 questions here, and I'll go through them, and then I'll see if I can answer some more. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for following me. If you want to share the live, then that's brilliant because you can share it. If you can't stay here for very long, then don't worry about that because I'll always upload these to my YouTube. If you go on my profile page, which you can get to by just clicking on my photograph at the top of the page, there's a link and there's all sorts of free resources there. One of those is my YouTube channel, and I always put the lives on there, so you don't have to be here all the time if you can't. You know, we all lead busy lives, don't we? So Alex is going to Disneyland and feeling nervous about the crowds and feeling a bit sick, potentially. So it's completely normal, you know, that you're going somewhere and there's that sense, perhaps the sense of anxiety because it's perhaps a little bit unknown. I don't know if you've ever been to Disneyland before, but that sense of, oh, it's going to be a bit unknown and there might be crowds and how's that going to feel? And sometimes because of that anxiety and the sort of hormones and chemicals that we release into our system, that can change our breathing, change the way our digestive system is working and make us feel a little bit sick. So one of the things that you can do to help with that is maybe to have some water to take with you. So have a little bottle of water, either take one in with you or buy something when you're there, and just take little sips of water all the time. And what that does is it gives your nervous system, it kind of tricks it into thinking that all is well, because it also helps your digestive system be working okay, because when we're anxious and our digestive system might sort of slow down or stop, what we can do, because we might get a dry mouth, because that's part of one of the things that happens with our digestive system sort of slowing down and stopping, because it's not essential when we're in survival mode, is having a little drink of water, and then that simulates having saliva in our mouth, and so that can be helpful. Also, maybe to have some chewing gum or some mints, so that you can be just chewing away on a mint. Mint is really calming as well, so that can help you and sort of settle your tummy as well. Something like having like a lemon and ginger tea, because ginger is really good for your tummy. And also to try and be in the moment, because you're imagining the worst case scenario of, you know, oh, it's going to be awful, there's going to be loads and loads of crowds. Gosh, thank you AHKW, you're sending me loads of lovely roses, and that's cute, I appreciate that. You're thinking about worst case scenario, and that's completely normal because our brain wants us to survive, and so it's thinking, what's going to happen, how can I deal with worst case scenario of lots of crowds? But actually there might not be lots of crowds, and even though there might be loads of crowds over there, you've still got your bubble here, you've got your safety zone here. So begin to think about, it's not just worst case and best case scenario, there's loads and loads of other scenarios in between. So you might want to have a look and think, well, let's go to the places, which are the quieter places. Perhaps I can go to some of the rides that aren't going to be so busy, or I can just imagine that I have this space around me where I'm safe. So there's a really lovely technique you can use to help you with that, and that is, we can use something called safe hands. So if you imagine that you have your hands like this, and in between the back of your hand and your body is a safe area, okay? And what you can do is just imagine, and perhaps do this with me now, is to feel and think, okay, where feels safe to me? Do I want it to be, is it here? Is there only a little bit of safety here? Or actually, can I push out and imagine that this bubble around me is quite a big bubble, and that between the back of my hands and my body is a safe zone? and we can perhaps put a colour in that safe zone. We can put a texture, a sound, a feeling, whatever feels right for you. But just do that. Imagine. So you can, if it's here and you're thinking, oh no, there's lots of people and I don't like it, you can just go, no. This is before you go to Disneyland, not necessarily in Disneyland. I'm not asking you to push anyone or anything like that. But what I am saying is just imagine that you can push that safe zone out. So even if there might be people around you, you're surrounded by a really lovely, safe bubble, okay? And one of the other things that you can do is perhaps to help yourself with breathing, with breath techniques. And there's a few of those. If you have a look on my profile page, at the bottom there's categories, and if you scroll all the way along, there's breath techniques. There's a few really nice ones. A balancing breath is lovely. That's one perhaps you could do before you go. And then there's the triangle breath, which is imagining that you have a straight line up along here, down to a point, and you're just breathing. So breathe in, out, out, in, out, out. Just slowing everything down. And you can be in the park in Disneyland tomorrow, and you could be doing this. So you can be walking along and just, you could do it on this side of your hand too if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter. You can imagine. What you can also do is, oh my God, I did have a phone. So if you imagine this was a phone case, so you've got a rectangular case here, you can also be walking along with your phone and breathing in on the short sides, out on the long sides. Breathe in, out, out. Breathe in, out, out. And what's going on there is you've got that comforting feel of just sort of putting your hand, your finger around the edge of your phone, but you're also making sure that you're aware of your breathing and that your out breath is nice and long and slow, and that sends the message to your nervous system that you're safe, because you will be safe tomorrow. And actually you might well be really surprised what a lovely time you have. Be curious about the people around you. If you're going with friends or family, be curious about their faces, about their enjoyment, about the excitement of the children around you, and see how that feels, so that you're giving your focus, instead of being your focus being in here, to have your focus looking outwards, so that you're aware of this safeness, this feeling of safety around you, and then beyond that, look at perhaps the excited faces of those people for whom this is perhaps a really wonderful experience. So there's a few things there, hopefully, that can help you a little bit. But I hope you have a really lovely time. Let us know. You don't have to, whether you come back to a live or just drop me a message at some point letting me know how you did, because I hope you have a wonderful time. So hope that answers your question, Alex. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and for joining us. My name's Sarah and I'm a therapist, and I'm here every Friday just answering questions on anxiety, just we've all created this lovely safe community, helped by Lynn 250, Jasmine and Vicky Hodson, who are lovely moderators who help every single week. Gosh, look at this, I'm getting so many lovely gifts today. It's so kind of you. I do appreciate it. Please don't feel that you have to. You're very welcome to come here and just be here. That's really lovely. But I really do appreciate the fact that you send me these things, so thank you. Jan, nice to see you. Jan C, don't worry about being late. I'm just glad you're here. That's lovely. Oh, look at that one. Look at snow globe. That's so beautiful. So let's have a look. So I'm afraid I do miss some of these comments, and I sort of see bits of them. So my apologies if I don't answer yours straight away. I do keep, see speakers Disneyland, I get tunnel vision. I kind of block everyone else out, and that's a really good idea, isn't it? And that's just another way of just creating this safe space around you. And it's not just in front of you, it just goes all the way around you, just to be in that lovely safe space, because you are safe there. It's a nice safe place to be, and perhaps you have a lovely time. Oh, thank you, user. That's really nice of you. I'm glad you like my lives. And Tina Holmes, nice to have you here too. So let me answer this next question. So this is from Mace or Maze, asking about social anxiety and saying, you know, can we talk about social anxiety? So yes, I'm sorry that you suffer from social anxiety. It is, as you say, it's such a hard thing to go through because we're naturally social animals, aren't we? And especially this time of year, you know, there's loads of parties and drinks and family get-togethers, and we're kind of expected to be in these social places. And if you find that hard, then you know that's an uncomfortable place to be. So don't worry, because you're not alone. Lots of people, and I'm sure loads of people on this live, will also absolutely feel what you're feeling, that being with other people in social situations can be really difficult. I used to have it myself, you know, when I was about 18, I was so shy, and the thought of being with a load of other people was just, couldn't bear the thought of it. So what can you do about it? Well, first, one of the things you can do is have a look on my profile page, because there's a little link there, a category to do with social anxiety, which might go into it a bit more than I can in on a live. But think about where has this come from? So there's lots of ways you can approach this. Any anxiety is your brain and your nervous system understanding that for whatever reason you are in danger. So you going into a social situation or thinking about going into a social situation can trigger you into feeling anxious, and so you get all of the chemicals going around your system which are trying to send you a message saying get out of there or don't go to that situation. What you can do, one of the things you can do is, before you even think of going anywhere, is to sort of create an environment of self-care, of safety, to be present in the moment as much as you can. And there are lots of techniques on my page, whether they're visualized, whether they're physical techniques, breath techniques. There's lots of things that we can do to just bring ourselves to here and now, and to help our nervous system understand that we're actually safe, even though it has understood, because either stuff that's happened in the past, it believes that we're in danger, or it's imagining stuff that might happen in the future. So we can create an environment of safety. We can do stuff in the moment to help us, so to try and be as present as possible. There's a pinned post where I do this. This works on various different levels. It's the physical sensation of circling. It's an unfocused way of our eye. Oh, that's not explaining it very well, is it, Sarah? Oh. It's softening our vision, softening our focus, because when we're in danger, our vision becomes very focused because we want to see where the danger is coming from. So part of this technique is being a bit daydreamy, softening our focus so that it sends the message through the optic nerve, oh, we must be safe, because we're not going, oh, where's this coming from? It also works by softening our muscles, by changing our breath. So go and have a look at that on my profile page, the pinned post on the right hand side. Yes, there's various things that you can do. This will have happened for a reason. There is nothing wrong with you at all. It will have happened for a reason, probably because something happened in the past that made you feel uncomfortable, or lost, or that you didn't fit in properly, that you felt judged or embarrassed potentially. So it's not that you're broken in any way, it's just that your nervous system has been through a difficult time, thought in that moment, oh, this is awful, we just want to get out of here, And every time you make a match, every time you're in a similar situation, it's triggering the fight or flight response for you. So sometimes it means that, you know, perhaps going to see a therapist can be helpful, because they can take you back to that first event, reframe it, help you understand what was really going on there. It may well be that you're an introvert, so the thought of going to big situations, like for me, for example, I'm an introvert. I love people, but the thought of going to a party, for example, and having to stand up and shout over people and music fills me with horror. You know, I like, you know, being one-to-one with people, maybe like just having a table of people where we can just chat about stuff, you know. So that doesn't make me wrong or bad, it just makes me an introvert. I get my energy also from just being by myself. And so perhaps you're like that too. People who are extroverts get their energy from being with lots of people, potentially. So anyway, I hope those few things help you. I hope that that's all right. Thank you for asking the question. Let me have a little look, scroll through some of these. I feel like I've missed loads of comments here. My apologies if I've missed your comment. Oh look, SM, sometimes my anxiety over a big task makes me leave it until the last moment, and then I'm in a panic. Yeah, I can understand that. I remember my son, he used to leave all of his essays and stuff till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning before the day he was due to hand them in. So I suppose it's just about taking charge of that and deciding, right, this is what I need to do. Because I suppose a lot of the time when we leave stuff until the last minute, it's maybe we're not very organised, maybe we don't know how to organise ourselves, maybe we're afraid of failure and we think, oh, if I just leave it to the last minute, I don't know. But yeah, the worrying about it, if you're leaving it to the last moment, it's only going to make your anxiety worse, I would imagine. So it's about sort of being consistent and just chunking things down so that they're manageable. Okay, so Sienna, let me write yours down. And then I'm going to answer Jasmine. So Sienna says, how do I relax myself when I read in front of people? So relax when reading. Okay. So Jasmine asked a really good question. Jasmine asked, how do I pretend to be confident when I don't feel confident? So I suppose you can kind of fake confidence, and the more you do it sort of by embodiment, you can con yourself and other people around you that you're feeling confident. I'm not sure if I agree with sort of faking it till you make it. I think it's about realising that none of us are perfect, and it's okay. You don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to be all confident all the time about everything. You know, there are times when we're all confident, you know, like I am confident making a really nice peanut butter sandwich and a cup of tea. That is my comfort zone. I'm really confident there. And you'll have things, all of you, that you're really confident at. Just because people look confident doesn't mean that they are. And I always remember, in a previous life, I used to work in casinos. And I remember my first day I got sent to this casino in London to work, and I was on roulette, and I was chipping up chips, which means you pick up the chips that have been swept off the layout. And there was a guy who was dealing, who was like an amazing dealer, and I was looking going, oh, he's so good. And I said to him, how do you know what you're doing? You're so good, you're so fast, the way you add up the bets. And he said, yeah, but look what I'm doing. And he said, if you watch what I'm doing, I'm giving myself time to think. So it looks like I'm being flash with the chips and tidying my chips up and tidying my working area up. But he said, I'm not really. I'm giving myself time. And it really taught me a lesson, because just because someone looks confident doesn't necessarily mean they are. So we can learn some tricks. And I think that that's a good thing. Give yourself time, slow down. When you look at people who are really confident, what do they look like? If you look at someone and you look at the people around you who you think, yeah, they look really confident, what is it about them that makes them look confident? for me, like I look at someone like Brené Brown, and she holds herself in a way that's confident. Like she's solid. She's got 2 feet on the floor. Her muscles are relaxed. Her arms are down here. I always remember someone gave me a good tip about speaking in front of people, and this might also go for you, Sienna, about reading in front of people, is to make sure that I always pretend when I'm starting, if I'm speaking in front of a class or a group of people, I pretend I've got 2 really heavy shopping bags in my hands. And so I have my hands down by my sides, but I'm imagining that I'm sort of holding them, like this, and I've got a weight about them, so it's got something to do with my hands. No one in the room knows that I'm pretending I'm holding shopping bags, but it gives me a sense of, yeah, here I am. I'm just standing here. I'm just relaxed, and I always think of it just being another conversation. So it's just a conversation, and I try and soften my muscles. I slow my breathing. I try and make my language, the way that I speak, slower. I leave gaps so that I hope that people can understand what I'm saying, so I give emphasis. And also in those gaps when I'm talking, I'm giving myself time to think, okay, I'm all right, I'm slowing down. My thinking mind is online, because when you see people who aren't confident, they tend to look really up high and really quick. They don't breathe, and then they run out of breath, and they're tense, and their shoulders are up here. So to do the opposite of that can be really helpful. So it doesn't mean you necessarily are confident, but the more you're able to do it, you're giving your brain the evidence that I managed to do that thing, and I got through it, and it was all right. And I felt my muscles were relaxed. I was talking slowly. I had space. I was steady. I was grounded in my, I had my shoulders back, my head up. And also to look for the people. If you're doing it and there are people around you, to be looking for the people who are smiling. Quite often we can look and we only see the people who look bored. But actually to be looking for the people who are nodding and encouraging. So I don't think it's about pretending necessarily. It's about being genuine and being understanding. You don't have to be confident. You don't have to be perfect at anything. It's okay. Because I think, for me personally, it's much more important to be honest. If you're going for a new job, I know Jasmine, you went for your assessment for your job. I would much rather someone say, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure about that, can you show me, than try and blag their way through it. So there's a balance there, I think, to be made. So I hope that helps a little bit. Because I know that it's difficult when you don't feel confident, but I think it's something that grows. It comes as time goes on. So I hope that helps a little bit. So right, let me answer Sienna's question here. So Sienna was talking about reading in front of people and how to relax when you're doing that, and I think probably I've answered a little bit of what that question is about here. The thing about when you're reading is that your breath needs to be steady, and when you're reading in front of people, it's amazing how slowly you can read. And if you listen to someone who's reading and they're reading very quickly, it's quite uncomfortable. If you look at people who read, like someone like Stephen Fry, for example, or if you look at a TED Talk, or if you listen to Matthew McConaughey, he does sort of audio books. They're slow, they give the audience space to listen. And I think a thing that you can do, which can be really helpful, is to record yourself, listen back to yourself, and be curious about, okay, how can I change that? Do I need to slow down? Do I need to speed up? Do I need to give this light and shade? And feel what it is that you're reading. Practice it. You know, don't just go into something and just go, oh, I'm going to read this and I'm just going to hope that I get it right. Practice what you're going to be reading. Hopefully that will help too. There are breath techniques that I share on my page which can be helpful. So just be nice, long, slow out breath. Breathe in and then do your reading. I hope that helps a bit. So thank you ever so much. If you're joining me here in our lovely community, our Friday evening community, thank you so much for being here. I'm Sarah and I'm a therapist, and we have a Friday community of people from all over the world joining us to chat about how we're feeling, chat about how the week's gone, ask questions about anxiety, about mental well-being, anything really. If I can answer, I will. If I can't, I'll tell you that I can't. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your likes and follows and shares and all of that sort of stuff. I really appreciate it. It's really kind of you. So let me see if I can. Let me grab some more questions here. Let's see. So Pixie's saying, I've recently moved out and I'm struggling with intrusive and overwhelming thoughts. How can I help myself? So it's difficult, isn't it, when our thoughts overcome us, when it's really overwhelming. I think that's a natural part of anxiety because, you know, I was saying earlier about, you know, worst case and best case scenario, and our brain is sort of working overtime and trying to work out how you can be safe because you're in a new situation. If you've just moved out, it can feel tricky. So I would say one of the things you can do is talk to people. So I don't know if you have where you've moved out to, whether you've got housemates, whether you've got people around you, maybe whether you can talk to your family and chat with them. You can also go to your doctor and ask them for help. But you know, what's going on, I would imagine, is that your nervous system believes that you're not as safe as you were when you were living in the place you lived in before. And so what we need to do is help your nervous system to know that, yeah, it's okay, you are all right. And you know, we all go in and out of these emotional places that we're in. You know, ideally we want to feel safe and well and in flow and with people that make us feel safe, but we all go into sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight, and our heart can beat quickly and we can feel breathless and sick and our thoughts become very overwhelming. And we can also go into a place where we're in freeze, where we feel, oh, we just want the world to go away. We're too exhausted to deal with anything. So to try and be as present as we can, to do all the things that I talk about, so self-care, to understand it's okay to not feel okay, that this will pass, to be kind to yourself and to share. You know, problem halved is a problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. If you're able to find someone that you trust, to talk with them and say, I really am struggling at the moment, it can really be helpful. So I would look at my page and look at some of the videos there. So the breath techniques, the self-care and the information on anxiety, and I really hope that helps you. And as you get more used to being in this new place, it will become easier and easier. So you're not stuck in this way of feeling, I promise. It will begin to change. Start looking for the good moments in your day. I quite often with my clients ask them to make a little note, have a little notebook of the best moment of their day. And once you start to look for the best moment, you start to look for the good stuff in your day, and your nervous system begins to realise, there is good stuff in my day. I am in a safe place, I am okay. and then the feelings of fight or flight and anxiety begin to diminish. So I hope that helps a little bit. I hope you're all right. Thank you, Jen. I had my hair cut today, so I thank you for saying that you like it. Gosh, let me have a little scroll through. Oh, Ollie, it's so nice to see you. Yeah. So chamomile tea is a very soothing thing. I know the French, but I used to, when I went out to France when I was 16, and I spent a summer in France, and we all used to have a cup of chamomile tea before we went to bed because it was just really soothing and calming. So chamomile tea is a lovely soothing thing to have. So that's a great idea. And with the deep breathing, to be making sure that it's your out breath that is really nice and long and slow, and then your in breath will come in naturally, and then nice long slow out breath. But thanks, lovely to see you, Ollie. And Cookie, so nice to see you too. Lovely to have you here. Oh gosh. Okay, so Cookie, your question is how to calm the anxiety that you experience daily. So obviously, anxiety is normal for all of us when there's a specific thing happening. So if you've got an exam or if you're going somewhere new, then it can be normal to have a raised level of adrenaline and cortisol in your system. But if we're being triggered every day, then those levels of adrenaline and cortisol can raise and raise and raise and raise and raise until we're in a place where it doesn't take very much for it to just overflow. And that can give us that having a raised level of those stress hormones can make us feel anxious, so that we're anxious every day. So even though something specific, it might not be something specific today that's making us feel anxious, because we've already got that raised level of stress hormones in our system, we're aware of that buzzing, that feeling you get, that feeling in your tummy, the overthinking in your head. That's there all the time because you're constantly being triggered by everyday things. So that's why I always say, look at self-care, look at creating an environment of safety, because the anxiety is there for a reason. But if the reason is an everyday thing because you're matching back to something that's happened in the past, or you're imagining something that's going to happen in the future, then that's really hard. So people look at self-care quite often and think, people think to themselves, oh, self-care, it's just like really self-indulgent, isn't it? But it's not. It's essential, because self-care is also self-management. So giving yourself time each day to do things which you really love and you look forward to, in those times when you're doing that, you're giving yourself the release of the hormones that tell your nervous system that you're safe. So it might start with a little, 5 minutes of self-care, but the more you do it, the more you'd be able to do it. And those 5 minutes grow to 10 to 15 to half an hour, so that actually your day becomes a lot steadier and a lot safer and a lot less anxiety ridden. Also, if the self-help stuff that I share is not doing it for you, if it's still not quite enough, go and see someone, go and see your GP, go and see a therapist, talk about it, find out where this has come from so that you can reframe it. Because even though we know rationally that this stuff has happened in the past and it's no longer there, our nervous system doesn't care about that. Our unconscious mind is just thinking, yeah, but I don't care. I don't want to take a chance. If there's any chance of this bad thing happening again, I don't want it to. So it will keep triggering you. And it's by getting the help of a good therapist that you can begin to change that. So I hope that explains a little bit. Let's see. Okay, thank you for asking that question, Cookie. So Anna, that's a good question. How to stop panic attacks? So panic attacks really are what happens when we're in that state. So what I was just talking about there, that your nervous system is sending you messages every day, in the form of anxiety, that something is not quite right, that it's something, it wants you to know that, for whatever reason, it believes that you're not safe. So what happens is that over time, so it can either be over time that you gradually increase the level of adrenaline and cortisol, so that it doesn't take very much for it just to go overwhelm, or something big happens and all in one go it can go like that. I just spat everywhere then. That's disgusting, isn't it? Sorry, everyone. So does that make sense? That that's what so that's what panic attacks are, to stop them. So if something big happens, then the chances are, if we're going to have a panic attack, if something really big happens, like, for example, if a blinking tiger suddenly, or a rabid dog or something, came running in here, I probably would have a panic attack, and that would be, I would absolutely freak out and either go and like run away or grab something and start trying to hit it, and that might be a panic attack, or I might just faint, and that could be a panic attack too. But if my panic attacks are triggered because I've got a really high level of stress hormones in my system, then to me it makes sense that what we need to do is start to reduce the levels of stress hormone in our system. And we can only do that by the stuff that I talk about all the time, which is self-care, perhaps talking to a therapist, using the physical visualization techniques, the breath techniques, the physical techniques, and then, because it's not a sort of, okay, I'm having a panic attack now and I want to stop it. Like, you can do that, I'll talk about that in just a second, but it's about stopping them even happening in the first place is the best way to go about it. If you're having a panic attack, or if you're prone to panic attacks, or if you know someone who has panic attacks, talk about it before it happens. So either tell people that are around you, I have panic attacks and this is what I need you to do. Or if you know they have panic attacks, you could say to them, what do you need me to do? If you start to have a panic attack, what will help you? So they know that you're a safe person, and you know that, yeah, I have a safe person here who knows how to help me. One of the main things that we can do is that co-regulation of being with someone. So you don't have to talk at them, you don't have to say anything, you can just be with them. So whether that's a hand on a shoulder or on an arm, or maybe not even touching at all, maybe just a low, slow voice, something, like, it's okay, I'm here, you're safe. And if you, as the person who's not having a panic attack, can breathe nice and slow, steady, just reassure them, they will start to regulate with you. Your breathing will come together. So the worst thing you can do is to be like, oh my God, and panic with someone. Even if you feel nervous inside if someone's having a panic attack, if you can just be reassuring, then that will slow things down. When I did years ago, I did a mental health first aid course, and they did something called seagull breathing. So what it was is that if you came across someone, if there was someone that was having a panic attack, what you could do is to just say, okay, just breathe with me. So breathe in, out, in, out. So they might not do that straight away, but over a little bit of time, they can see, and it's really soothing. I mean, you would probably look ridiculous because you're going like this, but it's just slow and steady. It's all right. I'm here with you. It's okay. It's all right. Don't worry. Just breathe with me. and they'll start to come out of it, because they'll co-regulate and their nervous system will seize onto your nervous system and begin to understand that they're safe. So, and equally, if you're the person having the panic attack, you might not be able to think through that in that moment, but to know that it will pass. A panic attack never just builds and builds and builds and builds. It reaches a peak and then it will disappear. So I hope that helps a little bit. Oh, let me say hello to some people here. Oh, Elizabeth says breathing in a paper bag. Okay. So I think we all have ways that can help us. So if that works for you, Elizabeth, then that's interesting. Jess, of course you can ask a question. Fire away. Fire away. Let's see. Yeah, so young Money says using your 5 senses is good for panic attacks. So I think when we're in a panic attack, it's quite hard to think, because what happens is our cognitive brain shuts down and we're just purely in emotion. So I think the breath like this one is quite a good one. You can perhaps move to that after a while. I always think, when people say that, so look for 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things. I can never remember that when I'm in my, calm state. So I always wonder, how on earth is someone who's in a panic attack going to be able to remember all that? I think perhaps, everyone's different. So it's a great suggestion if it works for you, and if it obviously works for lots of people. But in my experience, it's a tricky one for some people, because it's not necessarily they're going to be able to remember it. But I think to try and be present is helpful. This also can help. Just this, right, I'm here, I'm safe, I'm now. I'm here, I'm safe, I'm now. Slowing the breathing can be helpful too. But thank you for the suggestion there, young Minnie. Denise Coppin, it's very lovely to see you. Welcome. So let's have a look. Young Money, I work quite a lot with people who do public speaking. This will be uploaded. If you look at this on my YouTube, I spoke a little bit earlier about confidence, and a lot of the stuff I talked about there would be helpful for public speaking, like the holding the shopping bags, that sort of stuff. But I might do some videos, so keep an eye on my page. If you don't follow me already, then maybe if you feel like it, follow me, and I'll do some videos on public speaking. Let's have a look. So Jess, I'm just trying to see if you had let's have a look. Daisy B said, I had a panic attack in a session once and I was talked out of it. Yeah, I've had people who have had panic attacks in my sessions, and I think the thing is, it's really helpful. Like, I know that if someone has a panic attack, I know that they're all right. I know that they're going to be all right, and I'm confident that I can help them. And so it's quite nice. If you think of us as nervous systems on legs, I always think of us being like spaghetti. So we're like legs, and these are our nervous systems like spaghetti. And we're scanning our environment all the time and looking for other nervous systems. So if your nervous system is going, it's in a panic attack, it's really, really awful. What it's doing is looking for another nervous system that is just slow and steady and okay. And it goes, oh my God. And then they join together, the two nervous systems. And it's like, okay, we can calm down together. We'll calm down together. So, if you can find someone like that, or if you can explain to people, this is what I need when I'm having a panic attack, that can be helpful. But I'm glad that, Daisy B, that you were talked down from that. That's so good. So I'm just, okay, so Jess says, I happen to dissociate and blank out when I'm having flashbacks and can't breathe. Is that normal? So I think what's normal, Jess, I think that we all do our protective behaviour in our own way. And what's happening there, when we dissociate, when we blank out, it's our brain's way of protecting us. If something is too overwhelming, so if you imagine a ladder where the top part of our ladder we're connected, we're in flow, we feel safe, we're connected to the right people, we're in an environment where we feel safe. And then something happens and we go into fight or flight, and maybe we get angry, maybe we're aggressive, maybe we just get out, we run away, or maybe we don't go to somewhere in the first place. But also then there's the other part of that where we can go into freeze or flop. And sometimes our nervous system is so overwhelmed by what's happening that it just goes, no, we just need to blank out here. We need to dissociate. We need to remove our consciousness from this moment because it's too much. And so if that's the way that your nervous system is dealing with flashbacks and so on for you in that moment, then that's okay. You know, I think it's really important. I would imagine that you're probably speaking to someone. If you're not, then I suggest that you do, and talk about this with your therapist, talk about this with your doctor, because they'll be able to hopefully reassure you. Make sure that you see someone who is a trauma-informed therapist, because they can help you to understand, and to help reassure you that, yeah, at the moment this is what's happening for you because your nervous system is just going, no, we don't want to deal with this right now. But over time and with work, you can get to a place where you feel so much safer and so much more present, so much more at peace in your life as a whole, that you can begin to go through the stuff that's difficult, and to work through the layers, to work through the difficult things that have happened, so that you can look at them and be more analytical of them, to not be overwhelmed by the emotion of it. So I hope that makes sense, Jess. I hope that answers your question a little bit. But please don't worry. As long as you're safe, that's the most important thing. And I think that it's important that you chat about it with someone who's, you know, your therapist will be your expert and they'll know much more than I do about your personal situation. So do talk to them. I hope that helps a wee bit. But thank you for asking that question. So Catwaller, 1995. So I did, you're talking about social anxiety. I did talk earlier on. The second question that I answered was a little bit about social anxiety from Maze. So perhaps if you have a look at the recording of this on YouTube, I'll upload it tomorrow. I'll be uploading it. That might be able to help you. So I hope so. Do have a little look. Yes, so Megan Holland says it's very similar. So I'm thinking you're probably talking either about a panic attack or that sort of sense of being dissociated and freezing. When a special needs child goes into crisis, they just need supporting through. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, we're all human beings. Everyone here on this live has been through stuff that's really hard to deal with. And it's all relative, you know. We're all individuals. We've all been to places where we feel that we're at breaking point, I would imagine. And there's no one that's, you know, better or worse than anyone else. We're all human beings. And if we can come together and be kind to one another, then that's wonderful, isn't it? You know, to understand that we can come through this, that there is help out there. We're kind of getting close to the end of this. It's 3 minutes to 7, and we'll be finishing about 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for everyone that's been here. If you've missed this, or if you're just joining us, or you couldn't stay for long, then it will be on my YouTube channel, Sarah Aris Therapy. You can subscribe to that for free. I'll upload this whole live to it. And there's other loads of little videos that I put on YouTube, as well as on my TikTok page. I post every day. At least I try to. But this week I've been a bit, not lazy, I've just been busy. And I've not posted as often as I did. But I think it was one day I didn't post. But the rest of the time I do post very regularly. Jessie, ask a question. Yes, I can see that you want to ask a question. Tracy, hello, it's so lovely to see you. Let's have a look. Oh no, Jessie, you've got to go. Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, Lucian, it's very nice to see you. It's my pleasure. I love doing these lives. As long as you all come, I will keep doing the lives. So I'm just glad if I can help one person, then I'm happy to do that. You know, all of the stuff that I do is for free. You please don't feel that you have to, you know, subscribe or send me gifts or anything like that. It's all free. It will always be free. Yeah, so you're always really welcome. My next live is going to be oh, Tracy, I'm sorry that you're not doing so well. I've seen your posts that things have not been so good recently. Some of your comments. Look after yourself. Just give yourself time. You will come through this. Be kind to yourself. I hope that perhaps you're seeing someone that can help you. And Susan Perez, it's really lovely to see you. Thank you for being Amira. Oh, sorry, I moved on now. I'm like a butterfly, aren't I? Popping. Sorry. So Susan, thank you, Susan Perez. I really appreciate you. And I really appreciate you being here. So thank you. Amira, I'm so sorry. I haven't got time now because I need to finish. I haven't got time to talk about attachment anxiety, but perhaps we can talk about that next time. If you're here next time, I will watch out for you and do my best to talk about it, or perhaps in the week I can talk about attachment anxiety. I'll do my best for you. Gosh, let me see. Pixie says, what are my plans for the evening? My plan is to sit in front of the fire and do absolutely nothing. I'm going to have a glass of water in a minute and not do very much. I might read my book. What a wild life I lead. What about you? What's everyone's plans for this evening? What are you doing, Pixie? Oh, Denise Coppin. I'm so glad that you enjoy these lives and that it helps. Elizabeth, I'm sorry that you're overthinking is tricky. I think overthinking, try and bring yourself to the moment. The spinning technique can be helpful. If you have a look for that, I think perhaps I need to label it a bit better. Perhaps I'll do a little spinning technique. Perhaps tomorrow I'll do a spinning technique. That can be helpful with overthinking. So I'll do that for you, Elizabeth. So keep an eye out for that. So let's see what people are doing. What are you all doing this weekend? I don't know what you're doing. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Listen, I'm going to draw things to an end. My next live is going to be next Friday, but it's going to be Friday morning. So make a note if you're interested. I'm going to do it. What would be better? Just let me know. 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning. So 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock UK time. I'll do a quick straw poll and I'll go with the majority. Jess, you're babysitting and working. Tracy, you're going to a Christmas fair this weekend. Carrie, it's so lovely to see you. Oh, so Lynn says 10 a.m. Okay, 10 a.m. That sounds good to me. Jess says 10. Daisy B says 10. Elizabeth says 10. Carrie says 10. Susan Perret. Oh, I think it's looking like 10. Vicky Hodgson says anytime. Vicky, you are just so flexible. It's so good of you. So there's a lot of 10 o'clocks here. Pixie, I think you were the only one that was a 9. So my apologies. But it will be recorded still. So even if you can't make it. So next Friday at 10 o'clock is when I'm going to do the next live. So, Flavia, our mind doesn't understand. Our mind just wants to keep us safe. It's not about it lying to us. Everything has a positive intention. It's trying to keep us safe. It's just sometimes the trauma self within us is so young, it just doesn't really understand what's going on. So for me, it's about being kind to the trauma self, which is what, the unconscious leaping forward and protecting us is. So Lynn says, I've got the rabbit to get out, so I wouldn't be paying attention at 9 a.m. Lynn's got a lovely rabbit who's just, I think Lynn's rabbit is a very important member of this community. So we have to make sure that the rabbit gets put out nicely. So we'll do that. So I will see you all next Friday at 10 a.m. Okay, so I'll sort that out now and put it on the live. So if you want, put it on my profile page. So if you want to register, that's great. I'll do a thing so you can set a reminder. But I hope you all have a lovely, lovely evening. Enjoy your Friday. Look after yourselves. Nadine, if you're still watching, I'm so proud of you that you've had a good week this week. Keep going. Even if you're having a tricky time this evening, it will be okay. You know, even if you have to, well, I'm just sending you big hugs, and I'm sending everyone on this live big hugs. Thank you for all your kindness to me, kindness to one another. Thank you for all your questions, and my apologies if I've not managed to answer your question. But do come along next Friday morning at 10. Look after yourselves. Have a lovely weekend. Look out for the recording. If you've not managed to see this all, it will be on my YouTube from tomorrow. Take care. I'm going to hang around just to say goodbye to people. So, Denise, cheerio. Elizabeth, you have a lovely weekend. You take care of yourself. Big hugs to you. Heather, thank you for being here. Thank you for saying thank you to the team. Thank you so much to Lynn250, to Jasmine, to Vicky Hodson for being here, for being my absolutely beautiful, wonderful moderators. I couldn't do this without you. Vic W, thank you so much for being here. Oh, you bless you, a much needed haven, you say. So that just fills my heart with joy. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Tracy, thank you for being here. Yeah, well, if you didn't see much, I'm glad you saw a little bit at least. Andrea, thank you. I'm glad you like my hair. Colleen, thank you. You take care. Nadine, you don't have anything to say sorry for. I'm so glad that you were here. I'm so glad that you've had a good week. And even if you have a blip, it's all right, because you can come through it. We know, all of us as a team know that you're trying your absolute best. And we are so, so proud of you. And we look forward to seeing you here. So big hugs to you and Charlie Bear. All right, you take care. It's all right. It's all right. You can do no wrong in our eyes. We're just glad when you're here and we see you, okay? Oh, gosh. Cheerio, everybody. Yeah, as Lynn says, we're all with you. Pixie, thank you for being here. Michelle Kitch, it's so lovely to see you. You take care and we'll see you soon. Elizabeth, cheerio. Right, I'm going to... and we love you too, Nadine. This is what I love about this community, that it's not, it's not just me, it's not just the moderators, it's everyone that comes here, everyone that shares their vulnerability, shares the difficult times, shares the good times. It is an absolute joy to have you here, and yeah, take care. You have a lovely evening, a lovely weekend, and we will see you all soon, all right? Take care. Night for now.